Good morning, Anne.
Good morning, James.
And good morning, everybody. Hopefully, as always, you are all having a wonderful weekend, a wonderful week, whenever it is that you are listening. It's been a hot one.
Very hot.
Very, very, very hot. Are you happy to begin?
I am, yes.
Brilliant. Where would you like to start this morning?
For me, it's a bit of a mishmash this morning, to be honest, because I've had a couple of very interesting people that I've been talking to this week.
Right.
Who set me thinking.
Okay.
Which is always good, but it's a bit of a mix, which I think may all come into one.
Okay.
So the first part of it was that somebody who came to me was talking about when they were a child.
Yeah.
And you know how they had, and this was somebody who was in their 80s, and what responsibilities they had, as far as work was concerned growing up.
Okay.
And it started, and then they were talking about a condition.
Yeah.
A condition that they were born with. It was a condition.
Yeah.
And
So childhood responsibilities.
Yes, and childhood conditions of health.
Right. Okay. Yep.
So she got me thinking about my health, which I've to be honest, I very, very rarely think about my health. It's not something that goes through my thoughts very often, unless obviously I've got a cold or something like that.
Yes.
But it made me think about myself when I was born. And my mother was very tough.
Yes.
As far as health was concerned, for herself as well.
Yeah.
But for my brother and I, you just had to get on with it.
Yeah.
So we weren't marded or anything like that.
A tough cookie.
A real tough cookie.
Yeah.
And then it made me think, because when she was carrying me, my mother my brother was younger than me, so I was her first child, and she had bronchial asthma. She got bronchial asthma when she started carrying Jack, my brother.
Right.
But when she was carrying me, she had kidney problems. She developed kidney problems.
Yes.
And also, so her heart wasn't very good and she had these kidney problems. So when I was born premature, and I was a 4-pound baby, just slightly under 4 pound.
That's very light.
So I was very light and I was very early. So...
You do like to be early, Anne.
I like to be early.
You do like to be early,
yes,
yeah.
Started well. So when I was born, I was actually born with kidney problems.
Okay.
Because my mother had kidney problems and she passed them down to me.
Right. Also
with circulatory problems, which I didn't know all about this, of course.
Yeah.
So I had circulatory problems. And because I was so early, I had very weak ankles and very weak wrists, bones.
Yeah. Okay.
So it made me I started putting things together about how and I do know a lot about how we develop.
Yeah.
But
you were premature,
yeah,
weren't you?
premature.
Yeah.
And it set me thinking about what do we inherit from our parents that we don't actually know about, which could be a lot of things.
Right, yeah, that's
but
interesting.
Growing up, it was never talked about. I never knew about the kidney problems. I didn't know about the blood problems I had.
Okay.
It was never ever mentioned. But I used to have to go to the doctors every so often.
Yes.
And it was no health service then, and they used to pay a penny a week.
Yes.
So you could go and see your doctor.
Okay.
And I used to go in, and he used to just say, "Come here, Anne," and he'd sit there and open his legs, and I would stand in front of him, and he'd feel my glands, look in my ears, look in my throat, test my chest, test my back, feel where my kidneys were. Nothing was ever said. But he used to do that.
It was just what was normal for you.
That was normal.
That's what you knew.
Yes, I wasn't ill. I was just going to see the doctor.
Yes.
And then he would say, "Yes, she's ready for a tonic."
Okay.
And that went on for years. And my mother would always say, "You've got to drink the cabbage water."
So you were a very young child.
Yeah, very young child. But all my life growing up, they would say you have to drink the cabbage water.
Okay. Was that for iron?
Iron, yes.
Iron.
But I was never told why or anything. I just drank the cabbage water.
Okay.
And then my grandma used to give me raw liver. Cut it up.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah.
It's very good for you. It's extremely nutrient dense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And always part of the diet in a week was liver and bacon.
Okay.
But I didn't understand any of this.
Yes.
Because it was just my way of life. So I wasn't told there was anything wrong with me. What I'm trying to say is, if my parents had told me that,
I understand.
Would I have become an invalid?
Yes, now I understand the point you're making.
Do you understand why I'm saying
your mind didn't have the opportunity to hook what was happening, a condition or symptoms onto. It wasn't that you were identified as ill. You just had these experiences.
Yes.
Whereas you're arguing, or at least positing, that if you were treated as an invalid, maybe you would have become an invalid.
Yes, exactly, yes.
That's a morning motorcycle saying hello, everybody.
Yes.
Yeah.
So going on from there is I went to school.
Yes.
And at school, and this is where I think this is taking me into the school time really of even now.
Yes.
So at school we used to have the knit nurse.
Yeah.
We had the dentist used to come in.
Yes.
And CRT.
Well, this was once the NHS was set up.
Yes, yeah. I'm saying. So we had the knit nurse, we had the dentist coming in, we had somebody looking at our eyes.
Yes.
And every day we had malt and cod liver oil. We had orange juice in school. This is during the war, of course.
Yeah. Well, after. Yeah. This was after.
After the war, when they said, it's building us up again after the war. Yeah, I understand what you're saying now, yes. So we had, and obviously we used to stand there and she'd have the spoon. Everybody had the same spoon as well, by the way. The spoon wasn't changed. The cod liver oil was given to you. And
one mouth and then the next mouth.
And then the next mouth.
Yeah.
So there was none of the hygiene that there is now. And you used to always pray that the nurse was nice who would give you the cod liver oil first and then the malt, because some of them would give you the malt and then the cod liver oil.
That's mean, isn't it? You have to be a mean nurse to do it that way around.
But some would do that.
Yeah, I know.
And that goes on today, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So, and also, we would have milk at school.
Yeah, I had milk at school.
Yeah.
Well, right at the very, very end
of
when milk was phased out, I had it for a couple of years,
So that's your calcium. You've got your vitamin C, your calcium.
Yeah.
And the bread had all your nutrients put into it. Because bread was the only thing that wasn't rationed during the war.
Yeah, you have said that before, yes.
Yeah,
so that's very interesting.
So that's how my mind has gone this week. So
if you treat somebody as weak, do they become weak?
Yes, that's what I'm trying to say.
That's what you are positing, I suppose. Pondering, questioning.
Yes.
Yeah. And if we treat somebody as well, do they become well?
Yes.
That's interesting. Yeah. I would say psychologically, and therefore leading to physiologically, yes. There is a definite correlation between what we believe to be true, what we expect to happen, and that being more likely, and it becoming self-fulfilling. Yes, which is why placebos work. Because the power of the mind has an expectation, and the authority of those giving the placebo carries weight within the mind.
Yes.
Which is, it's fascinating, isn't it?
I find
really
it.
The man who says he can and the man who says he can't, they are both right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So with this, whatever condition I had at that time, which, as I say, was never spoken about.
Well, it sounds like you were premature and underdeveloped, and it sounds like maybe you had a blood deficiency. Yes. Definitely linked to iron.
Yes.
And maybe other elements, maybe your red blood cells or something in terms of your blood makeup.
Well, yes. Well, when I started teaching at college, when I was in my 40s then, when I became a lecturer at college, and had to go for a full medical, I was then sent to a consultant to have blood tests done.
Okay.
And every 6 weeks I had to go and have these blood tests. And every time I went, I said to it, he would say to me, have you got any lumps anywhere? Have you got any pain? And after I did this for 2 years.
Yeah.
And after that 2 years, I said, why am I coming here? I'm in my 40s.
Yeah.
Why am I coming here? And he said, why don't you want to? So I said, no, I don't see the point. I'm wasting my time and I'm wasting your time.
Yeah.
So he said, well, don't come. This was at Withenshaw Hospital.
Yeah.
I said, okay, I'm not coming back anymore. And as I walked out of that department, I looked at the sign and it said oncology. Now, I had never seen the sign before.
Wow.
And then when the vaccine when we had to, when the people started having vaccines, and I said to him, I'm not having one. Could I have a note say I can't have one?
Right.
And only then, when he gave me that note to say, on no occasions must this person ever have a vaccine of any sort.
Right. Because
of this condition,
so
that I knew.
Yeah, so maybe you had some compromised immune system, some sort of immunosuppression.
No, of course. It's like, it's a leukemia, really. It's a type of leukemia. And I have very, very low platelets. That's what it is.
Okay, right.
But I've had it all my life with no...
Yeah, with no major issues.
No, but either no treatment.
Right.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
So from the first part to this part, if I'd known about the first part of my life, would I be an invalid with that as well? Because I've hooked into that I can't function.
That's really interesting. That really is interesting. Linking it to something theoretical, just something to think about, something as a thought experiment that is fun and maybe true. Let's just call it that. Within quantum mechanics,
right,
and observing the smallest aspects possible through, super powerful microscopes and apparatus to be able to see the tiniest aspects that people can conceive of. And what they've found, which is in a sense paradoxical, is that the particles can exist in one place and another simultaneously, and the observing of a said place makes the decision of where the particle goes. So the potential is in both, left or right, here or there, and in your case maybe well or sick. But the observation, and therefore a decision is made, it's either gone left or right, well or sick. Therefore reality moves, and out of potential comes reality, actuality, experience. But the other potential of going the other way was every bit as possible and exists in potential, in theoretical physics. It exists in a theoretical dimension, simultaneous to the other outcome. Now it's all theoretical, and it's not really, and I've hopefully in a very simple way explained it a little bit, as far as I understand it this morning. But the reality that we see is the reality that exists. If we see things differently, when we look at our lives and our world differently, our lives and the world we are looking at changes. The world is the way we see it. The world becomes what we see. What we see is what we see, and we make a decision in a split second. So if we can alter that, if we change that, it changes the reality of what we experience, or at least the quantum field suggests strongly as such.
That's really fascinating. Because we're not solid, are we?
No.
So I can understand that.
And if we see life as fields of potential, we are existing in a soup of potential, a dream of possibility, and our observation and choices bring reality out of potential into actuality. All things are made possible. All things are possible.
Well, that's funny, because the lady I was talking to when this all came about this week, she was brought up on farms.
Right, okay.
Proper farms.
Yeah.
Because I say she was in her 80s. So she was brought up on these farms. And I was talking about this and talking about blood, because she had a blood condition as well. And we were both talking about it. And then I said to her, which was an odd question, is, well, how do things affect cows?
Okay,
so I said, well, what do you mean? So I said, well, this weather now is affecting us all.
Yes.
And we're not functioning very well.
Yes.
But when I look at the cows or the horses in the field opposite the house here, I said, but then I look at the cows, they've got fur coats on.
Are they overheating? Are they dehydrated?
That's what I said to her.
Are they fed up?
Yes. Is that what happens to them? I said, does this affect the milk? So she said it affects the quality of the milk, and they don't produce as much milk.
There you go.
And I was quite surprised at that. So I said, in that case then, what about chickens? So she said, well, they won't produce as many eggs.
So productivity is down. With heat.
With heat.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's interesting, and obviously they all need water, and they're not getting it, are they? The cows are not getting any water because the grass is dry.
Well, I would imagine the farmer will provide water,
Yes.
well, hopefully, but absolutely, it is intense, isn't it? Of course, it affects the animals, and it will affect the birds, and all of the animals that live underground and just the whole spectrum of animals, rodents, animals. Fish, the whole dogs. Yeah, absolutely.
People are walking,
all creatures,
people
great
are
and small.
Dogs in this weather. They're actually walking them in this weather.
I know.
When that pavement is so hot.
Yes. Take your dogs out very early in the morning or very late at night.
Absolutely. Yeah, they shouldn't be.
And make sure you don't leave them in the car.
Yes.
Because it gets unbelievably hot. And be aware of young children as well in cars. And seat belts can burn as well. So car safety is something most people don't think about. We all have experience of opening the car door and it turns into an oven. But you have to be careful, particularly with young children, that the metal seatbelt, the part that's metal, that can become scalding and it can burn. And heat stroke, dehydration and fatalities can come from leaving anybody in a car.
Yes.
For a shorter time than you think.
It's minutes, isn't it?
Dependent upon certain situations and variables, potentially.
With tiny children.
Potentially, it can be. It's extremely dangerous. So just be aware. Yeah.
We have to be, because we know. I've been in a car today, and I know that as soon as I got in, I thought, have you got the air conditioning?
No, it's like an oven, isn't it?
It was like an oven, yes, definitely. And the car that I went in today, which this is surprised, and change that. This frightened me today.
Right.
Because I went in. Yesterday. Yesterday. The event. So I went in. I got in this car, and this car is a new car.
Yes.
Person's is a new car.
Yeah.
And she said, I can't get this thing off my screen.
Yeah.
She started the car. It was just
Excuse me.
Whatever the thing is on the screen.
Yeah, the touch screen. Yeah, the display.
Yeah,
the display screen.
I don't know what you
I know what you mean. I'm sure everybody listening knows what you mean.
know what I mean,
Yeah, the display screen, yeah.
So she said, and it's talking to me.
Yeah.
So we were laughing about this. She said, I phoned you on the way here.
Yeah.
She said, and now it won't go off. So we started off, because we were going to pick something up.
Yeah.
And we started off, and then the car said, you've already arrived. And I looked at her and she said, I don't know what it means. So the car had directed her here from her having a phone call. So I said, I don't like that. This is weird. What happens if we say we're going to Costco?
Yeah.
She said, let's try it.
Okay.
So she said, please take us to Costco. To the machine, please take us to Costco. It took us to Costco. But how frightening.
You mean directions? It's not a self-driving car?
No. Directions. It told us all the way there where we were going. We hadn't put anything in. We hadn't put a postcode in.
I understand what you mean. Yeah, like voice command.
Yeah, but she didn't say Costco's. The only thing is that I realised that it's picked up is that when we got to Old Trafford, it wanted to turn right because there's a Costco in Salford. And I think it was taking us to the one in Salford. Whereas we were at the one going to the one in Trafford.
Okay.
But I think that's invading. That's invading.
And what else is it listening to?
That's what bothered me more.
Yeah. I'm just positing that in terms of...
Yeah.
Is it listening to everything that we are saying? Are our telephones listening to what we're saying? Is in some way that being recorded? Is that being tracked? How often do we open our telephones, our mobile phones, smartphones, and what we've just been talking about is there's adverts for it, or there's events linked to it. It's eerie, isn't it?
It's very eerie. And then the next, you see, there's sometimes when you pick something up, maybe we tune into it as well to find it.
Yeah.
And I don't even know it's true because I saw it on Facebook. But what it had on Facebook was somebody driving a car, and it was like a graph on the faces, all lines on the faces, and a child in the back seat, and the lines behind the driver, and the lines were on the child's face. And what it said was, this from next year, that these are going to be put into all cars, and it's recognising the mood of the driver, so it will tell the driver to move over. And if the child is being disruptive in the back, it will tell you to stop.
Okay. Well, that is disturbing if that is true. It's very dystopian. I don't know about that specifically.
I only saw it yesterday.
To be honest, it's believable, isn't it? And if that technology isn't specifically happening next year, there are cars and there is technology like that is being developed, that is already out there in various forms.
Yes.
What it's used for, I mean, that is debatable. But like anything can be used potentially for great good or for great harm. So what's the intentions of those who are developing this? That's a question, a rhetorical one for now.
Yeah, it is a question. It's control. That is control.
Okay, so that's your answer, control,
yes.
For control. I find it extremely disturbing to think about the last 5 years and posit this. If there was another global pandemic, and if the governments generally, or let's say we're in consensus again to hold mass lockdowns, and at this time everybody has a car that is self-driving, so a car that it drives itself, it doesn't need a driver, and it's connected to a central data centre, it's a central computer, a central hub. And if people wanted to exercise their freedom for whatever reason or go out somewhere, if whoever controls that central hub could give a command to all cars simultaneously to cut power, therefore everybody is locked in, not through choice, but literally locked in. And if every house, and this is hypothetical, is a smart house, and I know that's not the case, but a thought experiment, and the smart houses are all centralised in terms of their data being gathered together, and commands can be given from data centres. So this is linked to mass artificial intelligence, huge data centres, supercomputers, maybe even quantum computers. So it's a hypothetical situation drawing upon potential technologies and real technologies that are either emerging or have emerged or soon to emerge now.
Yes.
Now, if we were to live through a similar scenario globally, or a scenario like that, like a black swan event, a global crisis, those in power could use the technologies to keep people in, which is tyrannical. I feel very strongly that is tyrannical.
It is.
And that is of deep concern. That is of deep concern, I suggest, to everybody, because such technologies are not necessary to improve the quality of life for humanity. Greater education, sharing of resources, opening up opportunity, sharing of idea, development of greater relations and communication and collaboration and celebration between people and nations, all of that, protecting and stabilising the environment. There are many, many causes that can improve the quality of life for human beings. The air quality, the water quality, food quality, to name but a few. Community. So much does improve the quality of life of humans. But these technologies don't improve the quality of life. The argument is that they can deal with the crises that exist. The crises wouldn't exist if we improved certain systems and improved the quality of life and moved from a separation consciousness of war and moved to a collective consciousness of unity. The vast majority of problems that currently exist would be eradicated because the root cause of them no longer exists, which is an active hostility and active violence between us and them, between them and us. When we move to a brotherhood community, a sisterhood of humanity, such technologies are not necessary. They are undemocratic. People are not being consulted. They are not voting. They are not choosing this. This is being implemented almost like a fascist technological regime, global takeover. Now that sounds conspiratorial, it sounds dystopian, it sounds like something out of a James Bond novel. And I understand that, and I constantly check myself because it sounds salacious, it sounds unbelievable. And quite often I do feel, well, this isn't believable, but the evidence speaks for itself. At least it speaks of itself to be questioned strongly. This is not democratic. I suggest we follow where the money is going and look at the potential damage that is coming. A global event like a pandemic, a world war, or something else, and humanity could be locked in, literally.
Yes, I agree. I am
not okay with that.
No.
And I suggest us as a human race do not choose that future. And linking it back to what we were discussing, hopefully relatively playfully at the beginning of this podcast, about potential and observation and choice.
Yes.
We observe possibilities and select something else. Select freedom, select unity, cooperation, communication, collaboration, celebration, together.
And what you actually said then, because you did mention voting.
Democracy, yes.
Democracy.
Yes.
So that brings me back to another thing that is on my mind at the moment.
Okay.
Which is the elections that are coming up with Farage.
Oh, the by-election in Clacton.
By-election, yes.
Yes.
How on...
the publicity stunt.
How on earth...
Yeah.
How on earth, now on God's earth, I would say, has this happened, that we can have somebody with a bin on his head.
Count Binface.
Yeah. And Farage, who has taken millions from the government, so that's from the people, from us, how can it even be going ahead? That to me, is the things you said that you just mentioned are unbelievable. But somebody who has created such corruption, can even put himself forward to stand. And
it's a good. Do you know what? That's a very important question.
That's what I'm saying.
If somebody resigns from a post, should they be able to reapply for that role, that position? Certainly, if it's under the suspicion and strong suspicion of corruption and at least moral impropriety in terms of subjective choices.
Yes.
That's not the right way of framing it. Questionable choices in terms of morality. Yeah. Or maybe it was unprofessional and against parliamentary standards. Nigel Farage taking donations and payments from supposed friends and individuals.
No, it's wrong. It's wrong on every aspect of this. For me, it's only my opinion. Every aspect of this is wrong.
I agree. I think everybody agrees. To be honest with you,
he should not have been allowed to do it. So why on earth hasn't somebody gone in and stood up against him with moral fibre? And I have said this before. Somebody should stand against him with moral fibre. And to be honest, I hope the bin man gets in.
A lot of people feel the same. The other major parties have, at this time, decided not to put forward a candidate. I suspect it's because they feel the Parliamentary Standards Committee is going to find issues with Nigel Farage's financial situation, and that would trigger a by-election anyway. So if Nigel Farage wins this upcoming by-election in Clacton and regains his seat in Parliament as the MP for Clacton, it's likely and seems highly likely that if the findings conclude wrongdoing, another by-election will be called and the whole thing will happen again August, September, October. I don't know when the findings will come to light, in which Nigel Farage would have to do it again if he chose to. And I feel at that point the other parties will move forward. It's politics, and people are not choosing truth. They're not choosing goodness. They're not choosing honesty. Even the other parties are playing political games with it.
It's awful.
That's how I feel.
No, I feel
you and other people may feel differently or conclude a different analysis of the situation, but that's how I see it at the moment.
For me, it's all of it's a political game at the moment.
Yeah, it's a stunt. It's a stunt.
Even what's happening with Labour.
And a distraction.
And Andy Burnham.
Yes.
That's a political stunt.
Well, that's an ethical question as well. Should the Prime Minister be able to be replaced without the public voting on it?
No, absolutely not.
And that's happened a number of times in the last 6-7 years, both across the Conservative governments previously and now this Labour government. There's been a change of power in leader without going to the people, because there is this idea that if the public, via a general election, through the first past the post system, put a party in power, and it's their manifesto and the party themselves that are in power, no matter who the leader is, the Prime Minister of the United Kingdom has more power than people think. It's a very powerful position as far as political positions go. It is more powerful than people think. And I think it is a valid question to pose about the ethics and the morality of being able to change that position without returning to a general election.
For me, it's whatever we're deciding about Parliament in this country, it should always be for the people, by the people. They should be voted in they should be working for the people, by the people.
Yes.
Not by their
standards. So you feel it should return to a general election?
Yes, it should. It shouldn't have got to this, but I think it should.
Yeah.
My only concern with that is that, and I'm not being critical, please don't think I'm being critical about this, there aren't enough people on this planet who are au fait with actually what's going on and won't vote.
Okay.
So it's not always fair. Because for me, I'd absolve all government. I would absolve everything.
Yeah.
And then I would say, okay, we've absolved.
So vive la revolution.
Yeah. Now we vote for good men and true. Good men and true.
And women.
And women, yeah. Or it would be mainly women.
Yeah.
It's just the speech.
Yeah.
But it would be. I would have more women than men. Yeah. Much more women. And that's what I would like. I would like.
So you would like complete and utter political reform, maybe even constitutional reform.
Absolutely. Yeah. And take the power back of this country, Get our power back, because we've lost power. That's only my view, of course.
In the sentiment of what you are saying and in the feeling that I can feel here sat with you, absolutely, yes. In the spirit of people taking their power back in collective goodness, collective unity, and with the right intention, coming from the right place, conscience, and yes, for the best possible reason. Absolutely, yes. Yeah.
And just changing the subject a little bit, but it's just very quick.
Yeah, okay.
It's only a very quick one.
Okay, yeah, of course.
And I think this follows with this, is I had Macy here this week making some biscuits.
Yes.
And
well done, Macy.
Yeah, and she's very
delicious.
Well.
Thank you.
We began. She's just done her GCSEs and everything. And
she has. Yeah, it's just finished.
And I said to her, we're talking about education, and I said to her, "What do you think? How do you think there should be some reform in education? What do you think they should teach?" And she said, the very first thing they should teach when you start school is to teach you to enjoy school and learning.
I agree with that.
Which I think is a wonderful note
for
us to finish.
Well said, Macy.
Because that's every aspect of life, really, isn't it? We should be taught to enjoy it.
Yeah. We should all enjoy it because it's a wonderful thing.
We should enjoy life.
Absolutely. Well, that was an expansive episode. We covered a lot, didn't we, really?
We did cover a lot. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I trust that you have all enjoyed listening. And thank you, as always, for your comments, your suggestions, your questions. Thank you for liking and sharing on social media, for subscribing to the YouTube channel. And yeah, we really, really appreciate it. Well, have a wonderful rest of your weekend, everybody, a wonderful week. And as always, we look forward to being with you and speaking with you again next Sunday morning.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye. Goodbye, everybody. Bye-bye.